On today's show, the LA Clippers return home and bounce back with a wire-to-wire victory over the Utah Jazz. How did they do it, and why was it so easy, at least for 3.5 quarters? And James Harden passes Ray Allen in all-time threes. Going to be talking about it all on today's Locked On Clippers.
You are Locked On Clippers, your daily Los Angeles Clippers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, sir. You are locking in with the Clips. Thank you for making Locked On Clippers your first listen every day. Your team every day. First listen of the day, your team every day. I'm your host, Darian Vaziri, born and raised in LA and in my 20th season as a Clipper fan. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DimeDropperPod and subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, where a vlog of the game will be out, including capturing the moment where James Harden was acknowledged for passing Ray Allen in threes all time. What an accomplishment. Going to be talking about that as well as the wire-to-wire win and the performances of KPJ and the debut of Mo Bamba. Before we get started, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Head on over to FanDuel.com today to learn even more. That's FanDuel.com to join. And Locked On Clippers now has a daily newsletter. Yes, your boy writes it. It's a big deal. Daily newsletter. Just go to LockedOnDaily.com and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Clippers newsletter. All right. So let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Clipper Nation, we back at home. I was at the game on Sunday night, as expected. With the Utah Jazz not being a very good team this season, attendance wasn't too great. It was a very subdued game in terms of atmosphere. I think everyone's just kind of getting ready for Monday night against the Warriors because they're coming in playing good ball. And, of course, we know the kind of crowd that Curry and crew generate. But first things first, take care of business on the first half of the back-to-back against the Jazz, and we did that. And I think this game will be most remembered for being the game. Not I think, it will be in the historical scheme of things, the game that James Harden became the second highest three-point maker, I guess you can call it, in the history of basketball. The second highest three-point field goals made in NBA history. The man that has done that is James Harden, not Ray Allen anymore, which is insane. And I remember watching Ray Allen pass Reggie Miller for first place all time against the Lakers in 2011. It was a TNT game, and I was watching it in my living room. And now having seen Steph Curry pass Ray Allen and MSG, and now James Harden passed Ray Allen, I mean, that's an accomplishment, to say the least. Second most threes in NBA history, James Harden. And think of how tough some of those threes have been. Yes, he plays in an era that they emphasize volume threes, not like Ray Allen. I still think Ray Allen is a better shooter than James, but James, especially off the dribble, is one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history. And now, I mean, after being second all time, without a doubt, one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history. And in this game, he may have been the player of the game. He led the way very well. And the Utah Jazz, they were switching everything. So that causes us to play more one-on-one ball. But I thought we did a very good job in this game of taking advantage of favorable one-on-one matchups and getting downhill. And who does that begin with? James Harden. He had Lauri Markkanen on a switch twice in the first half. Got by him both times. 2 feet in the paint. I didn't see too much over-dribbling from Harden nor KPJ. I thought they were a lot more intentional. I'll talk about KPJ more later, but Harden, very solid. And the best part about his stat line, which was 20 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals and 2 blocks. I think his best defensive game in a couple of games, and no turnovers. He and Chris Dunn had no turnovers, and neither did Nico Batum. and neither did Amir Coffey and Terrence Mann. We were very low turnover on Sunday night, just 9 as a team, whereas the Jazz got 19, and that's where we really started, the party was defensively. But offensively, James Harden was creating shots all game long when he was in, and it's when he's playing like that, it's great to see for the Clippers. And by the way, just being a part of history as a Clipper fan is special. I obviously wasn't the biggest James Harden fan before he came to the Clippers, but he is one of the greatest players of all time. And for him to have a moment like that as a member of the Clippers, that is something for our franchise to acknowledge because, as a Clipper fan, we haven't been used to hosting and having our players have historic moments like that. Of course, James Harden is not a Clipper legend. He's been here for a little over a year. But the thing is, it doesn't even matter because we just are not used to seeing that kind of stuff. Players like James Harden even play for the Clippers, so especially when they're still a very effective player. He also shot well from the field again. 7 for 14. Did not shoot very well from 3. 2 for 8. But was 4 for 5 from the line in 34 minutes. This game, look, the Clippers were ahead wire to wire. We started out by kicking them in the mouth, but then they bounced back a bit in that first quarter, and then we slowly built up that lead. Second quarter was complete domination on our part. We outscored them 31-20, and after outscoring them 35-25 after one, we went up by 23 points, and they kind of chipped away at it because we got a little stagnant offensively. It seemed like we got a little fatigued, and I think also just took our foot off the gas. And they have a young athletic team, so they got back in it to a degree, cut it down to 8. But I was never too worried. It was just like, why can't we just cruise to a blowout win? But we'll take the win at 116-105. We're now 7-7 on the season. Utah is 3-10. We shot 49% from the field. And here's the thing. We shot 27.5% from 3. So we didn't even shoot well from 3. They, on the other hand, shot better than us from the field. 49.4%. So literally 0.5 percentage points. Shot 30% from 3. But the main difference is we got 15 more shots off because of the turnovers. I thought we got solid contributions from all across the board. But I think James Harden and Ivica Zubac are my leaders for player of the game. But moral of the story, James Harden passed Ray Allen in threes. Great night to get back on track. We are a much better team than Utah. And Lauri Markkanen, some of the stuff he was doing was like, compared to the Lauri Markkanen I've seen the last 2 years, so strange. Chris Dunn was guarding him to start the game. We were putting Chris Dunn on him. And he wasn't even being aggressive. It was so weird. And then defensively getting blown by a little easier than I've seen the last couple of years. Is Lauri Markkanen in on the plan to just go for Cooper Flag? Because, that was weird. At one point, I was like, Markkanen's point shaving. But anyway, Clippers win it. James Harden, congratulations to him, passing the great Ray Allen in threes all time. Insane accomplishment. 116-105. Clippers win it at the Intuit Dome. We're now 4-4 at home. But coming up, going to be talking about the way we truly won this game by playing our way. What does that mean? Let's talk about it coming up. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I got to give a shout out to my grandma. She's one of the most important people in my life. This month is all about gratitude. And along with the person I just shouted out, there's another person we don't get to thank enough. Ourselves. It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we are trying our best to make sense of everything. And in this crazy world, that isn't easy. Here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people in your life, including yourself. Therapy, it's hard for some people to, accept the fact that they might need some help. And looking within is very important. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. All right. So Clippers winning this one 116 to 105, and it started instantaneously. The way we win games, Clipper Nation, with this team, is it starts on the defensive end. When we get stops, when we create steals, force turnovers, that allows us to get out in transition and get easier baskets when defenses aren't set. And when defenses aren't set, that makes things easier for us, who has trouble beating set defenses because we have a lack of shot creation. So in this game, when I saw 4 turnovers in the first 3 minutes, that's when I knew we were off to a good start. Taking the ball away like it was candy from a baby, but they were also so careless with the ball. You ever watched games in the NBA and your team is playing against the team that just keeps making mistake after mistake, and you're just like, yeah, this is what it feels like to play against a bad team. That's how I felt. And do I feel bad saying this to the Utah Jazz and their fans? Nah. Unless my boss is listening, then I apologize. But other than that, the Clippers and the Utah Jazz have beef, man. At least I have beef with the Jazz. 2017. I ain't forgetting it. You know what I'm saying? We got that revenge in 2021, but guess what? I want to beat them again. Again and again and again. I don't really like them. But let's put it this way. We created turnovers. We got out and ran. Derrick Jones Jr. did a very good job defensively with his hands. Chris Dunn, same thing. James Harden, as shown, but with his 2 steals and the 2 blocks. But it was our 3 best players that all had good games. That made me feel good. Because in Houston, they got locked up. James Harden was the best of the 3. But to see Zubac get deep post position, punish mismatches, put his left hand to use. I mean, are you kidding me? If it's a Zubac from 2 years ago, he was not able to do this with his left hand. You know, he had some beautiful step throughs, up and unders, but just the deep post catches. You know, he just felt like he was automatic in this game, and it was great to see that. I think he was arguably the player of the game. You could go with Harden because of the low turnovers, and Zoo turned the ball over 5 times somehow. But he had 22 points, 11 rebounds, 6 of them offensive, 2 assists, and 2 blocks on 11 for 17 shooting. How often do you hear Ivica Zubac shooting 17 shots in a game or more? That's awesome. That's what you love to hear. And a lot of that was just being aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Being decisive. And of course, level of competition is of importance. But, I mean, you love to see it from Zoo just to get back on track, maybe, you know, get some confidence back. And then Norm. You know, it's funny. I didn't even realize, I just looked at the box score, that he shot 6 for 17 from the field. But he started out the game really well with those 2 threes early to make it 10-0. And I think we just kind of fed off of that. It did not feel like he was 6 for 17. Wow. But anyway, he had 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal on 6 for 17 shooting, 4 for 11 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line in 35 minutes. Thought his defensive effort was better. But guys like Derrick Jones, you know, 3 steals. He was really digging his ability to just get his arms on the ball, or get his hands on the ball, get his arms into play, I should say, is such a luxury. 7 points, 1 rebound, 3 steals on 3 for 6 shooting and 1 for 3 from deep. And Chris Dunn, really solid 3-point shooting game and just overall game. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, no turnovers on 4 for 8 shooting and 3 for 6 from 3. I mean, he's right now, and it's only been 14 games, best season of his career, bar none. Bar none, because he's actually playing for a team that has a chance to make the play-in. And he's doing it. And he's starting. He's been spectacular. Off the bench, 10 deep, Nico Batum, Mo Bamba, Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey, KPJ. At one point, all of them were in together, and it wasn't too bad at all. I was a little nervous about it, but they were fine. And a lot of that is because of the performances of KPJ and Mo Bamba. Going to be talking about the way they played coming up. I got to tell you a little something about FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You know, it's not just NFL bets that you can make on FanDuel. You can also go to NBA. And right now, Nikola Jokic is plus 210 to win the MVP yet again. Jared McCain, the Philadelphia 76ers, Jared McCain is the favorite for Rookie of the Year right now at plus 200. Most improved player, let's see if there's any Clippers on there. Norman Powell is actually 6th at plus 1,600. So check that out. And it's, guess what, you know what you got to do it? FanDuel.com. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right. Clippers 116, Jazz 105. Clippers led by as many as 23 in the game and never trailed for a second. The way we won it is because of our defense. We forced 19 turnovers. That sets the tone for everything, makes things so much easier, allowed us to get 15 more shots up than them, and we're just a better team. There's no crazy analysis to have. The fact that we had 3 good games from our 3 best players, well, you can maybe even say Norm wasn't too good because of his inefficiency. I mean, without Norm, that game becomes a lot harder. He helped us win. I think he played well. He didn't shoot great, but I think he, took the right shots, was aggressive. We need all that. So, solid game from him, but Zoo and Harden with a double-double apiece. Love to see that. So, our best players play well, we win the game. Not hard to comprehend. Now, our bench. Talked about the starters, but our bench. KPJ. He's been a hot topic this season for many reasons, but so many fans were saying, you know what, I want to see Bones in there. I want to see Jordan Miller in there instead of KPJ. He ball pounds too much, takes bad shots, is inefficient, and all that stuff was very true. And I'm a Bones Highland guy, right? And I even said on this show, let's give him till 15 games. And to be honest, from games 10 to 14, maybe even 9 to 14, we've seen a better KPJ. We've seen a KPJ that's settled in, that looks like the game is going a little slower for him in a good way. Things are slowing down for him. He's doesn't seem like he's smothered every 5 seconds. He had some nice moments handling the ball tonight, or on Sunday night. Just between the legs, crossover, step back, several really nice moves. That little Euro he had, was it a Euro? And he finished with his left hand, or that, where he picked the ball, that move where he picked the ball up. He has been really good the last couple of games. More efficient, not forcing things as much, but I also think just getting more comfortable and making shots. But what I like beyond the shot making and point stuff is some of the passes he's made and the rebounding he's been doing pretty much all season. But there's one pass that stood out for me on Sunday night where the defense was scrambling and it looked like the shooter in the corner was open. I forget who it was. And KPJ didn't swing it to him because it probably would have been an interception. Instead, he attacked the closeout and lobbed it up to Zoo. So I just thought that was growth. Is he making that same kind of play a couple of weeks ago? I don't know. So right now, I would not put Bones Highland back in the rotation. KPJ's playing well, and when he's playing well, he can do a lot for us in terms of shot creation off the bench. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and just 1 turnover for him on 6 for 9 shooting. Did miss his only 2 threes, but shot 66%, and you'll take that all day long. Some nice takes to the rim. Some really nice takes to the rim, man. Then there were the old reliable parts of the 2021 team, Amir Coffey, Terrence Mann, and Nicholas Batum, although Terrence Mann has not been super reliable this year, but it was a very solid game for him. The thing about Terrence is he's the last person to get off the bench right now. So he's got to be careful. He's got to continue to play well because he got $16 million a year, and if he's at the end of the rotation in terms of guys that are actually playing, then I would not be surprised if he gets moved in the middle of the season, because teams are still going to want a Terrence Mann. I can promise you that. I don't hope that doesn't happen, but 7 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and a block in this game on 3 for 6 shooting and 1 for 2 from 3. Nice to see him shoot 50% from 3, but of course, low volume. But 2 out of the 3 games that he's been on the bench, I think he's been good. And before that, he wasn't necessarily playing very well. So happy to see that. Played just 14 minutes, but contributed. Amir Coffey didn't shoot well, but I think he was solid. Took the right shots for the most part. Good energy. 7 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. No turnovers on 2 for 6 shooting, 0 for 3 from deep, but made all 3 of his free throws. And then there's Nico Batum, who was 0 for 3. All his shots were threes. He had 2 points and a rebound and just played some solid defense in the first half. I just remember him moving his feet well, doing what Nico always does. Active hands, just helps the collective IQ on that end of the floor when he's in. But Mo Bamba, I've saved it for last, but he made his debut on Sunday night. And what a debut it was. And look, to all the Kai Jones lovers, I was saying we should have played him more. But Mo Bamba's the guy that's on a standard contract. Mo Bamba is the guy that was, the 6th pick in the draft? Yeah, for the Magic in 2018. And in this game, he made an impact. His first basket as a Clipper was when we were playing against the zone for a possession. Swung the ball around to KPJ. KPJ drove baseline. It's one of his 6 assists. Lobbed it up to Mo Bamba for a wide open dunk for his first basket as a Clipper. He had a nice putback on a Terrence Mann drive. He had that insane alley-oop finish. The only thing that didn't look too great from him was his 3-ball and the fact that at times he was not putting his hand up to contest floaters by Filipowski or whatever his name was. Never even heard of him. Kyle Filipowski. Oh, okay. It's no wonder I haven't. He's a rookie this season. He's the guy from Duke. Forgot about him. I didn't know he was in the league. 2nd round pick, 32nd pick in the draft this season. Okay, I watch other teams play basketball very frequently, but the Utah Jazz this season, I won't be watching too many of their games. I don't know if non-Jazz fans will. So forgive me for not seeming like I'm an expert on that one. But ask me about other teams. Let me know, guys. Do I do a good enough job explaining the other team's perspective when I do this show? I would love to know because, I'm always trying to get better. But I feel like I give their perspective a lot, the other teams, because I do pay attention to other teams, and I've always been a basketball fan over the Clipper fan. But obviously my Clippers are my favorite team. But anyway, Mo Bamba, just a very solid performance, and he rebounded. You can just see his agility. He just looks a little more comfortable out there than Kai Jones. But I hope more is to come because 9 points and 8 rebounds and an assist and a steal. I feel like I'm fumbling my words because I haven't drank enough water today. On 4 for 8 shooting and 0 for 2 from 3. So 4 for 6 from 2. What a solid performance by Mo. So overall, we got back on track. KPJ looks good. Mo Bamba looked great. Our best players got it done, and we started by getting it done defensively. We set the tone. I didn't like that we got so stagnant, though, in the second half and allowed them to kind of get back in the game. It's something we got to, look to be better about is not getting stagnant. Keep the ball moving. Keep feeding our go-to guys. Don't have the ball stick in one guy's hands for too long, namely James Harden and KPJ. And that was happening a little bit in the second half, but ultimately we got it done. My player of the game is going to be James Harden because I did say in my vlog, if you watch it, and it's going to be out on the channel by the time this is out, should be at least, I said Zubac for my player of the game, but I didn't see the 0 turnovers part for Harden and Zubac having 5. So I think James Harden is my player of the game. And on his special night, it's deserved. He talked about it after the game, talked about his journey a little bit. So big night for James Harden, his family, and his fans. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DimeDropperPod. Subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, so you can see the vlog of the game. It was actually my closest seat of any game I've been to this season. 3 rows, 3rd row up from the supporter section. So like 7th or 8th row of the Intuit Dome from the floor. So yeah, subscribe to that, and then Locked On Clippers, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, if you can't listen on audio, YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's keep on getting to the road, closer to the road. No, closer to 7K. The road to 7K. Jeez, I can't even talk. It's too late. I can't even talk. I'm sorry. Good thing the Clippers won. And hopefully we win again on Monday. We got the Golden State Warriors. What a big game that will be. Will it be the first sellout in the Intuit Dome? Honestly, I hope so, but that would mean a lot of Warriors fans coming. So, don't like that. But I'll be in the wall where I belong. And your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Clippers Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com, and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Clippers newsletter. Clippers, Warriors, Monday night. The age-old proverb continues. Go Clippers.